Have you ever done something that you regret? Have you ever had something done to you that has hurt you deeply? Do you find yourself stuck in a place where you seem to keep falling for the same old lie? Or you find yourself repeating the same behaviour time and time again? Are there parts of your life that you wish you could change? Is there something in your life that you wish you could be free of? A hurt or a habit, a pain that you carry, that you just long to no longer be part of your life? I suspect that's probably true for every living person on this planet. And if it's true for you, then Reset is a series for you. Over the next 8 sessions, we're going to be unpacking 8 Beattitudes and looking at what Jesus taught us about how to live life to the full. Jesus promised that when we're in a right relationship with him, we can know life and life to the full. But for many of us, we're not experiencing that because of the baggage that we're carrying. And it's time for a change. It's time to break the power of that baggage and start to live in freedom. Over the next 8 sessions, we're going to be looking at the cycle of change and mapping the 8 Beatitudes onto the cycle of change and seeing how we can work in a practical way through these Beatitudes to find freedom, to break the power of those things in our life that we no longer want. I love that the Word of God is incredibly practical, and we will be looking practically at the Word of God and looking at a number of tools that we can use to help us put into practice the principles that Jesus is teaching us through the Beatitudes. What does he mean when he says, "Blessed are you if"? How do we put that into practice in our life? Over my life, I've known the joy of being involved in many things, and one of the things that shaped me more than anything else was a program called Celebrate Recovery. I've seen it transform so many lives, and Celebrate Recovery takes these 8 Beatitudes as the principles that underwrite this journey of recovery. And I'm indebted to some of that, and some of the things I learned through that program we'll be using in this, together with other things. But I want to take you back to that question and ask you if there's something that you would like to be free of. And I want to dare you to write onto a piece of paper now, before we start this series, what is it that you'd like to see changed in your life? Write it on a piece of paper, fold it over, and put it somewhere safe. And begin to ask yourself, is this something, God, that I no longer need to carry? And be prepared to bring that with you into the sessions that we look at, and to ask yourself the question of what you're listening to, how can I apply it to these things? Reset is a series where maybe for years we've wished we could push the reset button like we do on the computer, the oops button when something goes wrong that just wipes everything and starts again. And often people say to me, we have a miracle working God who can heal in an instant. Absolutely we do. We have a miracle working God who can deal with my issue. Absolutely. But I believe sometimes God asks us to walk a process, and that process is part of growing as disciples, a process of discipleship. And it's something that we will look at in this series called the dandelion effect, where if you cut the head off something but don't remove the roots, the heads grow back. And often, from my experience, I believe God doesn't always deal with things in an instant, because if we don't learn what it is that's causing us to react or respond in a certain way, or to find a wrong way of coping, a faulty coping mechanism, if we don't understand what it is that's causing us to have that, then healing the circumstance doesn't deal with the root and leaves us locked into the issue. And Reset is a series where we will take the Beatitudes and we will apply them in practical ways to begin to dig out those roots so that we can truly know how to live life to the full.